everyone! Today, let's hook colorful big-eyed hanging foot dolls together. Take a look. It's very cute. Very threading rope. You can hang it on your car, on the bag. They rate all very good. The crochet method is also very simple. Okay, what's next? Let's hook this hanging foot doll together. First, let's hook the head. Wrap the thread around your finger. Pinch the intersection with your right hand. Lay the yarn with your left hand. Then change your left hand and pinch the intersection. Crochet in. Then wrap the thread around and pull it over. And then you crochet it around. Pull this loop. This is a chain stitch. What we do next is we thread the crochet through the loop. Hook out 6 single crochets. First, stitch threading. Then the crochet presses the thread and pulls it over. Then the 2 loops are joined together. This is a single crochet. Mark the first single crochet. Next, hook the second stitch to thread the stitch. The crochet presses the thread and pulls it over. Then parallel the stitches. Third stitch. What about the fourth stitch? Let's represent it with the letter symbol X. A total of 6 single crochets are hooked. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull this little yarn tail really tight. This will form a small disc. We're done with the first round. And then what? Take off this little marker. Cross these 2 yarns horizontally. Then the tail of the yarn is hooked horizontally on it. Crochet the thread and pull it over. Take it directly to the back loop. Bring it directly like this and tighten it. This is a slip stitch. We're done with the first round. Next, hook the second round. Hook a chain stitch first. For the second round, we need to hook 6 increases. That is, 2 single crochets in each stitch. The increase, we use the letter symbol V to represent them. We start by threading a stitch through the first stitch. Hook the yarn and pull it over. Hook a single crochet. Mark it well. Be sure to remember, hook a single crochet in the same stitch. It's the stitches we just marked. These 2 stitches are simultaneously from the first stitch. This is a stitch. We use the letter symbol V to represent it. And then what we do is we thread the stitch through the second stitch. Hook 2 single crochets. Okay, the second increase is done. Then we will hook all the remaining 4 increases. What about an increase? It's like 2 single crochets coming from the same stitch. What about after the second round is hooked? We'll start with the 6 single crochets in the first round. Becomes 12 single crochets. Take a look at the second round, and you're done. And then we did the pull connection. Thread the crochet into the first stitch. Hook the yarn and pull it over. The second round is done. Now we go on for the third round. Hook a chain stitch first. For the third round, 1 single crochet and increase is grouped. Repeat the hook 6 times. Hook a separate single crochet in the first stitch. Mark it well. Then thread an increase into the second stitch. Hook an increase. Check a V. 1 single crochet and 1 increase. It's a combination. This whole round needs to be repeated 6 times. An increase. Okay, it's done the second time. Next, we hooked all the remaining 4 times. Then after the third loop is hooked, it will be. The 12 single crochets in the second loop become 18 single crochets. The last set of single crochets. 1 increase. The third round is complete. Then, let's do a connection. Thread the crochet inside the first stitch. Pull the yarn. Then tighten the back loop. Third round completed. Next we hook the fourth round. Hook a chain stitch first. The fourth round. 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and 1 single crochet is grouped. Repeat the hook 6 times. Mark it well. Hook an increase in the second stitch. Then hook a single crochet in the third stitch. 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and 1 single crochet. It's a combination. Next, hook a second time. 2 single crochets are hooked inside the 5th stitch. Then put a stitch in the 6th stitch. It was done the second time. Let's hook all the remaining 4 times. What about after the 4th round is hooked? There are 24 single crochets in this round. Then we hook. And learn to look at this crochet diagram. In this case, we can see the diagram later. Crochet a small part alone. Okay, we're done with round 4. Connect it. Next, we continue to hook the 5th round. Hook a chain stitch first. 3 single crochets and 1 increase is a group. Repeat the hook 6 times. Check 3x first. Occupies 3 stitches. Then thread the crochet into the 4th single crochet. Hook an increase. 3 single crochets and 1 increase. It's a combination. You need to hook 6 times. Next, hook the second time. It was done the second time. Hook all the remaining 4 times. So what about after we hook round 5? And then everybody looked at the diagrams. Hook all rounds 6 to 15. I put the diagram on the screen. Everybody follow the diagram to hook. So let's take a look. The round 15, 48 single crochets. Then let's continue to hook. Round 16, we need to reduce the stitches. First we hook a chain stitch. The round 16, 3 single crochets and 1 decrease and 3 single crochets is grouped. Repeat the hook 6 times. First hook 3 single crochets. Mark the first stitch. Then hook a decrease next. Reduce the 4th and 5th stitches to 1 stitch. First pick up the front loop of the 4th single crochet. This single loop. Pick up the front loop of the 5th stitch. Then crochet. The hook yarn passes through both loops at the same time. Then parallel the stitches. This is a decrease. 3 single crochets and 1 decrease. And then you hook 3 single crochets. Occupies 3 stitches. That's a big combination. So we're going to repeat the hook a second time. First hook 3 single crochets. Then a decrease. Pick up a front loop of the stitch. Pick up another stitch of the front loop. Hook the yarn and pull it over. Then parallel the stitches. This is a decrease. Next, hook 3 single crochets. Okay, it's done the second time. We'll use the letter symbol to represent decrease. Hook 3 single crochets first. Then picks up the front loop of the next 2 stitches. Pull the yarn. Then hook 3 single crochets. Then the third time is done. After the round 16, we learned how to hook decrease. Then let's look at the diagrams. Hook all the following rounds 17 to 21. And I typed the diagram up on the screen, so just hook it following the diagram. Everybody, take a look. And we got to round 21. Then we put fiber fill in it and fill it up. So what's next? We did the last round. On the 22nd round, hook 6 decreases. First hook a chain stitch. Then we hook the decrease of the first single crochet. Then the second single crochet is a decrease. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Then the sixth. Okay, let's take a look at what happens after we hook this one. We threaded the crochet from the first stitch. Make this connection. Then pull the yarn over. Leave a longer yarn tail. Then cut it off. We use needles to deal with it. 6 stitches left. Each stitch stirs up the front loop. After hooking, pulling hard. And then you run the end of the yarn through the rest. Cut it directly. Take a look at this head and you're done. Let's take a look. What about after we hook this head? Next we should hook the little one below, the ball part. The method of hooking edges is very simple. In the first round, 6 single crochets in magic ring. Then hook 6 increases in the second round. The third, 1 single crochet and 1 increase is a group. Repeat hook 6 times. The fourth and fifth rounds, 1 single crochet in each stitch. Hook 18 single crochets in each round. Then the sixth round, 1 single crochet and 1 decrease is a group. Repeat hook 6 times. As for the seventh round, just hook the 6 decreases. There are 6 stitches on it. Let's hook a chain stitch first. Then let's take the first 3 stitches first. Pick up 3 loops. Okay, then hook the yarn and pull it over. That's it. Then take these 3 stitches at the back. Pick up these 3 loops. Because there are fewer stitches in this place, so when we pick, may be laborious. After the hook is done, it is still pulled like this. That's it. There are no holes in this place above. What we're going to do is we're going to hook 15 chain stitches in a row. And this is the little ball, the part of the strap above. Okay, that's it. Extend the yarn. There is a longer yarn tail. Cut directly. As for this small ball, every color is different, but the method of hooking the edges is the same. Just follow the diagram to hook. So what about after we hook this little ball part? Let's hook the stitches again. The eyes are hooked with white yarn. Just hook the eyes and follow the diagram. Follow me. Let's take a look. We put these 6 small ball parts. It's all hooked. Eyes are also hooked. We're going to sew the eye and the head together. Let's look at the suture position first. Start at the top and count down. Just sew it at the bottom of the 7th row. Then, when sewing, just turn around and sew like this. Let's sew it up. Just sew along this out yarn of the disc. Okay, we're done with the first eye. And then suture the second eye accordingly. Just separate the 2 eyes with a stitch. And be sure to stay on the same level. It's the same below. Let's put this eye again. You sew it along the yarns. So let's take a look. What about after we sew the discs of the 2 eyes? And then we're on this disc here. What about this position on the second yarn? Nail 2 small black buttons as part of this eyeball. So what's next? Let's use this black thread directly. Let's out yarn this hair part. Overhead, let's out yarn. What about this thread? Leave it a little longer. And what happens is, you thread the stitch through this place. Thread the needle through this place on the top of the head. We sketched a total of 12 hairs. The length of this hair is different. You can do whatever you like. Let's sketch him. These 2 hairs are relatively long. Then we hooked a short one. Thread the needle like this. Just pull the yarn back and forth like this. Hook a long one. Then I hooked a short one. Just repeat the process back and forth. This place is not difficult. Everyone, follow me and sketch this hair. Let's take a look. We took these 12 hairs on the top of the head. Just hooked it like that. All right, it's very simple. Are we using this black yarn? Just hook him twice in this place of the eye. Thread the needle directly like this. Just follow the out yarn of this loop. Just surround it like this. The first loop. That's it. and then we threaded the needle again. We don't thread stitches at this point and this place anymore. This is where we thread the stitches to spread out this junction for him. Thread the stitches from this place. And then what? Let's loop him like this. Next, everybody will follow me. Use this method. What about the two eyes? Just loop around twice. So what about after wrapping the eyes twice? What's next? We're 2 rows down between the eyes. Let's out yarn. This is the equivalent of the nose. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread the stitches through here. Wear it directly to the lower 2 rows. Then thread the stitches like this. That's it. And let's go from this position to rows under the nose. Sketch this rebellious mouth. Let's take a look. Thread the stitches like this. Then this rising. What about the height of this corner of the mouth? It should be the same height as this nose. Let's take a look. Thread the stitches from this place. To start this yarn at the same height as the nose, thread the stitches through this place. And then what? Pull back. Just thread a stitch in this place and patch this thread. That's it. Then cut the end of the thread directly. Then our nose, the mouth and eyes are all done. What's next? We will put these 6 colorful balls, sewing under this head. Take a look at the suture position. We sewed him on this. Sewed at this position between the 5th and 6th rounds. That's it. Let's sew. It's very simple. Just fix it in this place. Fixed in this place. That's it. And we'll do the same for him with the other 5. All right. What about after we sew all 6 balls? What's next? Let's hook the part of the pendant above the head. It's very simple. We made a loop. Then the crochet goes in. We can hook a chain stitch. You can freely control this length. You can fold it in half like this to see the length. In short, we can hook up a few more stitches. Then lengthen the thread and cut it directly. That's it. Let's tie a knot at the bottom. And we attached it to the top of the head. Just pull him in like this. The knot below is bigger. After pulling it in, it won't be easy for him to pull it out. That's it. What about the long thread tail? We'll cut it for him directly, or put it in for him. All right, our cute, colorful, big-eyed pea doll. That's it. See you in the next video.